Shalom. So these clips are going to be clips of different things I already previously made, and I'm just going to do a nice little voiceover because since I already have made them previously, I'm going to end up be doing them over again. So these videos of me making these things again will come shortly after this. Shalom. So here is my first cayenne pepper, red pepper flake, avocado oil infusion. This was the first one that I made that introduced my second video I had showed you guys. I pretty much took a old glass jar that I had my beet juice in, and I pretty much layered cayenne pepper and red pepper flakes interchangeably, and then I pretty much just poured the avocado, filling up the whole entire jar, as you will see in the next clip that's coming up. Here you see the me filling up the jar, excuse the background, I was cleaning that day, with avocado oil, which I pretty much filled all the way up to about maybe an eighth of an inch left. That's so we'll have some space to let any extra air bubbles. I did use the wooden skewer that you see on the table behind the jar to help poke and loosen it up because the cayenne pepper can get trapped at the bottom. And then for the next 4 weeks, I just shook it interchangeably, making sure it doesn't stick to the bottom. This is the herb mixture I had put together for my elderberry syrup. It also is the foundation for one other product that I did with my household, but I did a mixture of herbs for my elderberry syrup because these were all immune boosting herbs that would add great benefits to the elderberries, and it turned out to be a really great mixture, which I will be showing you guys how I did it in the videos to come, and the next slide will actually show you what it turned out to look like. So here is the end result of the elderberry syrup from the herbs you've seen before. I did end up making a lot, but this is a 32-ounce jar and a quart, pint jar, Salakia, and it came out really, really well. I did add arrowroot powder to it to help it as a thickening agent, but my family loved it, and we were taking in it 1 tablespoon for the adults and 1 teaspoon for the child, and it was just awesome. When I first made my homemade butter, this was a definitely fun experience. In the back, you see my son actually doing the old school way of actually shaking up the milk to actually make what I have here. Here, I actually took 2 pints and a quarter of whole heavy cream and actually blended it until it actually got to this process and actually strained it out. Rinsed it with water to get all the buttermilk out, and to the left, you do see a jar of the buttermilk. In this slide, you see my son actually shaking up in another pint jar. He wasn't too happy because it starts to get thick and shaking it gets harder and harder. But my family helped along and we all took turns, and it was a really good process. Here you see a zoomed in version of what my homemade butter looks like. I do apologize for it being zoomed in so much, but it's like a long, nice piece of butter. I added 1 teaspoon of Himalayan salt to preserve it, and it tasted great. We put it on everything. After making the elderberry syrup, I did have a lot of herbs left over. So for the past couple of days following me making that, I just made a tea for my household using the same herbs. And when I tell you that tea, bang, it was too legit to quit. Here was the foundation of the elderberry gummies that I made for my household. So the same herbs that I used for the syrup, I used to make the gummies. And in the next slide, you will actually see I actually also added a combination of sea moss for it as well. So this is the sea moss that I had soaking in alkaline water for over the course of 24 hours. I did use about 3 ounces. I'm probably going to use a lot less next time, but I may just not actually incorporate sea moss just to try another way because the texture there, how it came out, it was good. My family liked it, but I actually want to try like a gelatin, like a beef or a vegan version of gelatin to actually make that thickening process for the gummies, but you will see how they turned out in the next slide. So here is the end result of the elderberry gummies. I did have 7 milliliter for both the larger ones. The bears are in the purple, the dinosaurs and something like dinosaurs in the blue. Here are the mini versions. That way we can make different variations. They were 1 milliliter, so my son needs to take 5 or 7. We can also add 1 to our intake. These are more pictures of the elderberry gummies, the dinosaurs, the bears themselves. As you can see, they're jelly texture, and the mini ones, they were worth 1 milliliter and 7 milliliters for the larger ones. And I stored them in these mason jars in the fridge. So here is the homemade alcohol that I have made that has a combination of distilled water, peroxide, and an alcohol. I maybe use Everclear, or I use Amsterdam or Svedka with the essential oils you see in the back. Combination, boom, your own homemade Lysol. I do not know why it zoomed in this close, but this is my peach mango vinegar. I actually took the pits and the seeds and the skin of peaches and mangoes, combined it with water and sugar, and let it steep in darkness for 4 weeks. It actually was about 6 weeks by the time we got back with my dad. And next to it, you see the SCOBY, which is pretty much what develops in your vinegar to help you make more vinegars. And I'm actually was excited. I actually got my first 2 SCOBYs from a vinegar, and I'm actually preserving them for future vinegars that I make. So here you see my multi-purpose cleaner using citrus fruits. I actually peel grapefruits, oranges, limes, and lemons predominantly, and actually let it steep with vinegar. You can use apple cider vinegar or white distilled, and put it in a dark, cool place in a cabinet and let it steep for 4 to 6 weeks. Strain it, and then you can begin cleaning everything in your house. It's an amazing, guilt-free, chemical-free way to actually clean your house, and it is very, very, very effective. This was the last batch. I'll be making another batch soon. And here we have my lactation brownies. They look and taste so good. I was actually nervous because I did add cacao powder, I did add semi-sweet chocolate chips, and I did add oats. So I was wondering about it being too cakey or thick, but it actually was really, really good. I did love drinking them with my tea or water, and it actually worked. I actually did feel the benefits of an increase in my milk supply on my stressful days where my milk was kind of low. I'll take one of these brownies, and boom, they were like amazing. I'm actually dedicating a little bit more time to this last project because this was a lengthy process. I not only well, first off, this is actually my homemade cereal. As you see in there, you may see kamut puffs. I actually had cacao kamut puffs, rice puffs, and they actually made our home granola. At the bottom, you kind of see the chia seeds. I put hemp seeds in there, and I pretty much made my own granola with oats, figs, well, dried figs, dried cranberries, dried raisins, and a few other things in there, and actually cooked it and then mixed it all together. And this cereal was like amazing, and that jar is huge. And I actually put a half a cup in there, and I would give like a cup of cereal to myself, my son, my king, my mother, or anyone who wanted some cereal. It was good to snack on. It was good to actually add warm milk. We drink almond milk in our house to it. Add some sliced bananas or any type of fruit. You can eat it cold, you can eat it hot, you can make a porridge. It was a good multifaceted, and it lasted about 2 months, and I didn't have to buy no cereal literally for 2 months. So here's the elderberry tincture I was telling you guys about. I have put elderberries, lemon balm, thyme, sage leaf, echinacea, hyssop, calendula, chamomile, hibiscus, ginger, boneset, elderflowers, rosehip, and yarrow. All of these herbs were full of immune boosting benefits. I pretty much added the alcohol. I ended up having to add it to another bottle because so much herbs. Let it sit for 4 to 6 weeks and then drain it out, as you see the end results in the next slide. So here is after I've recently strained it. Once we got back, I pretty much just strained it all, and it filled up these two. So this is good for probably about 2 to 3 years, if anything. But this is the end result. It makes a lot, and it's very good with benefits. So here is the honey garlic. When I got hip to this, this was like an awesome thing to come across. 2 ingredients, honey and garlic. I pretty much used like 7 whole cloves. I actually planted some of these in the garden and let them overwinter. And you pretty much just add honey and let it steep. Let's talk about the benefits. Honey garlic is like the best thing to boost your immune system, first of all. Not only is it multifaceted, but it has great health benefits as well. You can use it for food and as well as medicine. Hardest part is breaking up all the cloves, but after that, it gets easy once you get used to it. Not only do you get the benefits from the honey, but also the garlic, the anti-inflammatory properties, as well as the antimicrobial properties. Here is the stored version. The one to the left, I pretty much had already been using. My husband wanted to sit there and already start eating it the day I made it. And the other 2, they have been steeping for about a month. So generally, you can eat it at any time during the process. But generally, you'll wait about a month. The cloves can turn different colors, but don't be alarmed. That's perfectly natural. And you just shake it up and store it in a cool place, and it can last for months on end. Pretty much, honey is a natural preservative as well. But the benefits for this is completely amazing. I actually use it in a dish. Here is a hair oil that I use with grapeseed oil, and a combination of mixture of herbs that will help not only stimulate but also boost hair growth. I also made it with a base of the cayenne pepper oil blend, and I added actually frank and myrrh resin, which shows great properties for hair growth. So I will definitely let you guys know when I strain it. I'll do a video on that, as well as the benefits of what it does for the hair in another video. But stay tuned for that one. Next, you'll sit there and see this is my corn silk tincture. I pretty much took the hairs from actually an ear of corn, I think about 4 adult ones, and let it sit in alcohol for 4 to 6 days. This was my first tincture I ever made. The benefits for corn silk is amazing. You can use it as a tea. So the next time I actually go to the health food store and actually get some organic corn, I'm actually going to dehydrate the corn silk, actually store it, and then use it for a later date. But the benefits of corn silk, definitely research this. It is an amazing thing to have. And lastly, you see the free-range caged brown eggs and also quail eggs. Quail eggs are the spotted ones, where you actually, rather than take a supplement, you could actually get your calcium and magnesium from crushed eggshells. So what I pretty much do is clean them after I use them, make sure there's no slimy stuff in there, bake them on for 10-15 minutes on 200 degrees, and then I pretty much let them cool, and then I crush them. I will make them to a powder, and I can put it in tea, sprinkle on foods, and get my daily calcium and magnesium from the shells. So I hope you guys enjoyed the clip. I didn't add a few other products solely because I won't be making them for quite some time, like my elderberry tincture. I can post a updated picture of what I did to add it and also the end result, because I made so much of it. And tinctures, you really don't take much of it. That bottle that I made will probably last about a year or so. So I won't, unless somebody asks me to make it for them, I probably won't be making that process, but I can explain what I did and the herbs that I used. I did have to sneak up into the homeschooling room solely because the kids is pretty noisy this morning, but all praise be to the Most High. But the process for this video was pretty lengthy because I actually had to remember everything that I put into my projects. However, they were amazing to do with my family, to see their reactions to them, to actually see how it tastes, or didn't like it, liked it, and even myself. And it was really awesome to actually try. So all praise be the Most High that He allowed me to actually do this. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys try some of these products at home, and definitely let me know in the comment section below how these things actually work for you guys, or if you have tried them, what were the goods, the bads, the uglies, anything that you can help me make it better, last longer, or just omit overall entirely. But peace and healing to you and your households. I'm very grateful to actually be able to share this education and these experiences with you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Shalom.